The truth is, The Weeknd has become one of the biggest pop stars of our modern time. Acquiring a massive global fan base and even performing at the 2021 Super Bowl, The Weeknd has managed to successfully cross over into mainstream music despite his darker sound. He has managed to overcome being from the bottom of the bottom and climb to the top of the world, becoming one of the biggest names in the music industry. But how exactly did he manage to turn his life around in such a way? I have come to the conclusion that The Weeknd has sold his soul to the devil for fame and fortune and has taken the Masonic oath to spread the Masonic agenda. Join me in this episode as we uncover the dark truth about The Weeknd. The Weeknd was born February 16, 1990 in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. He was his parents' only child and was raised by his grandmother after his parents separated. The Weeknd will end up growing up in Scarborough, Toronto, with his grandmother only seeing his father a handful of times. The Weeknd claims he didn't know much about his father, besides the fact that when he saw him, he noticed that his father had a whole new family. The Weeknd would start smoking weed when he was only 11. He would later move on to harder drugs like coke and other hard party drugs. He would end up dropping out of school in 2007 when he was only 17, leaving his grandma's house and crashing at whichever friend's house he could stay at. This is when he started shoplifting from stores so that he may supply his drug addiction. Just 2 years later in 2009, The Weeknd will release his first song, Do It, under his legal name Able Official. The song didn't really get any attention at the time, and in 2010 The Weeknd would meet up with an underground producer by the name of Jeremy Rose, who had an idea for a dark R&B mixtape. Jeremy will end up playing one of the beats he had made for the project for The Weeknd, and he started rapping over the beat. After hearing The Weeknd rap on the beat, they clicked and agreed to work together to produce a short project. They would produce 3 of The Weeknd's iconic songs, The Morning, Loft Music, and What You Need. Jeremy Rose let The Weeknd have the rights to the beats of the song as long as The Weeknd would credit him on the project, which The Weeknd agreed to. After this, in December 2010, The Weeknd decided to upload the songs onto his YouTube channel, changing the name from Able Official to XOXOXO, keeping his true identity a secret. The song started to get attention from blog sites online, including an early shout-out from Drake's blog site. This is around the time he would change his name to The Weeknd. And in 2011, The Weeknd would meet Sal Salbi and Amir Esmilian, and together they would create XO Records. And on March 21st, 2011, they would release The Weeknd's debut mixtape, House of Balloons. The album was met with critical acclaim, even winning him a nominee for 2011's Polaris Music Prize. In July 2011, The Weeknd would go on tour, and his first show was at the Mod Club Theater in Toronto. Drake showed up and watched the entire performance, jumping on stage to announce that music by the 2 artists was on the way. If you would like to see me do an updated video on Drake, comment Drake below. If 100 people comment Drake, the next video will be about him. The Weeknd would even then open up for Drake, even performed at the 2011 OVO Fest in July. He would even give Drake songs that he had written for his next album, and Drake will release them on his Take Care album, even featuring The Weeknd on one of the songs, The Crew. The Weeknd would then go on to drop his second mixtape, Thursday, in August of 2011. This would start to take his recognition to the next level, and by 2012, The Weeknd had kicked off his first international tour, performing in New York City, London, and a few other places. In September 2012, The Weeknd would finally sign to Republic Records, after initially denying offers from Drake and others. Shortly after this, The Weeknd would drop his Trilogy album, and his career will continue to ascend to what he has become today, one of the biggest superstars in the industry. This is what you may already know about The Weeknd, but the truth is much more sinister than this. I have come to the conclusion that The Weeknd sold his soul to the devil and has taken the Masonic oath in order to succeed in the music industry. The reason I have come to this conclusion is no other than The Weeknd himself. In The Weeknd's songs and music videos, you can clearly see what he represents, with his videos being full of Masonic symbols and satanic imagery. The first thing I found interesting was in his very first music video ever for his song Wicked Games. He dropped this video after signing to Republic Records, when he would release his Trilogy album. This video is very important in understanding what side he chose, as it clearly shows him making the decision to be guided by Lucifer. The video starts with a woman dancing with a hairstyle to resemble horns. This woman is supposed to represent Lucifer, and it seems that Lucifer presents himself to The Weeknd through different women, as we will later see in this video. The Weeknd is then shown with an emotionless face, while he proceeds to sing to the devil. As The Weeknd sings, "Just Let Me Love You," Lucifer consumes The Weeknd. We're then shown The Weeknd consumed by darkness as he continues to detail his dance with the devil. This is the beginning of The Weeknd's professional music career, and in this moment in time, The Weeknd took an oath that would forever change his life. The Weeknd would also release 3 music videos a few years after being in the industry, right when he was finally reaching new heights. His song Can't Feel My Face crossed over from the dark contemporary R&B genre that he was used to a more pop sound that he is known for today. In this trilogy of videos The Weeknd released, it clearly shows him selling his soul to the devil, and then by the end of the trilogy, regretting the deal. In the first video, which he named Can't Feel My Face, which coincidentally would end up being his biggest hit at the time, he is seen performing at a bar to an uninterested audience, until Lucifer walks in and makes contact with The Weeknd. A light begins to shine on The Weeknd as Lucifer makes his offer to The Weeknd. Lucifer stands up and throws a lit match at The Weeknd, which is supposed to represent the passing of enlightenment. As The Weeknd is now under Lucifer's control, he is now able to get the crowd's attention and is literally on fire. The next video is Tell Your Friends. This video directly continues where the last one ended. The Weeknd meets Lucifer at the crossroads after the show to seal the deal and perform the rebirth ritual and become one with Lucifer. After performing the ritual, he kills his old self in order to be reborn, burying his old self and killing Lucifer's vessel and becoming one with Lucifer. The last video in the trilogy is The Hills. This video is the most important because it shows The Weeknd trying to escape the hills and his lifestyle but cannot as he crashes his car and gets into an accident, being forced to return to Lucifer by the end of the video. What's even more strange is when you play the song in reverse, he sounds like he repeatedly says he doesn't need his Lucifer or his money throughout the song. The next thing I would like to talk about is The Weeknd's video for Heartless. If you have been watching my channel since the beginning all the way back in February, then you probably saw my Behind the Symbolism video on The Weeknd. I would actually be re-releasing this video with a better audio and edit right after this video, so make sure you guys check it out. In the Heartless video, we see The Weeknd licking a frog in order to hallucinate so that he may speak to Lucifer. This is actually an ancient ritual that was used to hallucinate and speak to the spirits. Then he shows us Lucifer for a split second. I had to slow down the video so you guys can catch it. He hid it within a lot of flashing lights and colors. In the Behind the Symbolism video I did on The Weeknd, it seems like The Weeknd wanted to be set free. He no longer wanted to be Lucifer's puppet. But like I concluded, he is trapped by his sins that he can't seem to get away from. Like we saw in The Weeknd's song In Your Eyes, he gets murdered by a female that I concluded was sent by Satan. And like I explained earlier in this video, usually this is how Lucifer would appear to The Weeknd, using lust to lure him in and keep him trapped. In the video for Too Late, we see women dressed in snakeskin that again are supposed to represent Lucifer. These women take The Weeknd's head off the middle of the road and take it back home with them and put The Weeknd's head on a person that they sacrifice. Then they perform Aleister Crowley's sex magic ritual on The Weeknd and begin to bring The Weeknd back from the dead. This is supposed to represent how they own The Weeknd even in his death, how The Weeknd has no control any longer and they own his soul. This is why the song is named Too Late, because at this point, it's too late for him to turn back. He has chosen sin over his soul. Another thing I would like to talk about is The Weeknd's video for Save Your Tears, remixed with Ariana Grande. As again, The Weeknd shows us in plain sight how the music industry truly works, showing us that they make the celebrities, they create and control their lives. They choose when it starts, when it ends. They have all the control, not the artist. The Weeknd was willing to sell his soul in order to be worshipped and be loved by the world, because he wanted it all. Like he said in his song, Snow Child, he was desperate to make it and willing to do anything, even selling his soul, as he explains that if he wouldn't have made it, he was going to end his life. The Weeknd knows that he made the wrong decision, finally realized that it wasn't truly worth it when it was too late. He feels like he can't turn back at this point, and this is exactly what we see in his song Too Late. In the song, he explains that it's too late to save his soul. This is because The Weeknd doesn't want to give up what he's addicted to: money, drugs, and women. The Weeknd clearly regrets his deal, as nothing on earth can truly fill the emptiness in him. Not the cars, nor the money or the women can make up for the fact that he is soulless. His one and only purpose is spreading Lucifer's agenda and damning more souls. This is why, just like Aleister Crowley, he takes countless drugs so that he may dance with the devil in order to gain his satanic blessings. Lucifer spreads his lies to whoever is willing to follow him. He shows his followers how to self-worship and become false gods. In The Weeknd song Heaven or Las Vegas, he sings about this very thing. He expresses how they want heaven and they want God, but that he has heaven and he is his own God. What's interesting is that in another one of his songs, named Faith, He talks about losing his religion, and if he can choose heaven or Las Vegas, he's choosing Las Vegas, proving once again that he truly sold his soul and would rather live in sin than live in the glory. This is why The Weeknd feels like it's too late for his soul. He'd rather choose sin over his soul even after he knows that living in sin would eventually cost everything. But his addictions are currently too strong for him to overcome. He has chosen a lifestyle that destroys whoever decides to partake in it. He knew what he had to do, and he didn't care if it meant his final resting place would be in hell, as long as he can have heaven on earth. The Weeknd's music is designed to influence and brainwash his listeners into following a sinful, drug-fueled satanic agenda. They use The Weeknd to make being a drug addict look appealing and cool. They know that when people take a lot of hard drugs, they're easier to manipulate and control. So they have artists like The Weeknd and Future promote addict lifestyles in their music. That's why in every single Weeknd song, you can hear him singing about taking drugs. The record labels know that they're destroying people's lives, and they love it because they can profit from it in every way. In The Weeknd's video for Save Your Tears, he appears to be performing in a private Masonic party. Notice how The Weeknd's face looks different, as if he was possessed, as he sings for the masked Masons. At the end of the video, he tries to kill himself in hopes of escaping, but once again we're shown that he can't. As long as he's needed by the agenda, he must continue to serve it. The Weeknd lost his soul on his journey to the top. As bad as he wanted to get back his soul, he admits he can't seem to leave his way alone. As we listen to our favorite artists, we must remember what agenda they truly represent. We must not allow them to manipulate us into following their destructive ways. Just take a look around. You can clearly see what our world is turning into. We must try to help those who can't see the truth find the truth. Thank you for watching this episode of The Truth Is. I just want to let you guys know that I am re-releasing my old Behind the Symbolism video on The Weeknd tomorrow. I'm going to re-record it and re-edit it to better the quality. Make sure you guys don't miss that video, as it connects perfectly with this one. If you'd like to further support the channel, join me on Patreon. The link would be in the description. If you join before the 28th of this month, you could be entered to this month's monthly raffle, where you can win a shirt, a cash prize, and even pick a video topic. Also, please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button, as this helps other people find these videos. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. Please follow me on Instagram at TheTruthIs01 and on TikTok at TheTruthIs. I will gladly appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.